Thank you for checking out this complete broadcast from the Wrestling Epicenter archives. If you like what you hear, please hit the like button and the notifications bell. Also, consider subscribing. It really helps. And now, without any further ado, welcome to the show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on theinteractiveinterview.com. Today we're honored to bring you Sherri Martel. Sherri, how you doing?
I'm okay, James. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. You know, there's a lot of...
Wait a minute. We were talking a few minutes ago. You guys didn't tell me what state you're in.
I'm in Arizona.
Curious.
I'm in Arizona.
You're in Arizona?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I bet it's nice out there. I'm up in the mountains, so it's kind of nice. We've been getting real cool mornings and warm days here.
We're in an unseasonably cool spell, but it's still, the sun is still incredibly hot, so if you don't have the air conditioner on, I mean, it's only 75 out, which is uncommon for here, especially in September, but the sun is just so strong that it beats on the house, and it's 90 in the house, so...
Yeah.
It's
well, I live on top of a mountain out here in Tennessee, so it's kind of really nice. I've got this one section of the house. There's a wraparound porch around my house. So there's one section of the house that you can go sit on, and there's always a breeze going through. And at night, it's been so nice, you know, for the past couple of months. At night, that I haven't even had to put an air conditioner on. We've been leaving the doors open, and that's strange for this day and age.
Yeah, especially, you know, I'm originally...
Very nice, though.
It is, and I'm originally from right outside New York City, so I'm just used to cold all year round, and we came out here and it's 120. So.
Well, you don't have very much a change of seasons in Arizona.
Yeah, it goes from hot to warm. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I just remember traveling there a few times where I got actually cold at night. But
well, if you went up to Flagstaff, like upper towards where the Grand Canyon is, it gets cooler at night, but here it doesn't really get that cool.
Okay. God, I remember a lot of good things happening in Arizona. Arizona was a fun place. I liked Arizona a lot.
First question I have for you is: Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
Not for a very long time. My mom started taking me to wrestling matches because it was either go skating with my sister or go to wrestling matches with her. So I tried the thing going roller skating with my sister, so that didn't help because I didn't like babysitting. And neither one of us were having a good time, so we started going to wrestling matches with my mom.
Who were some of your favorites at that point when you started actually getting involved in watching it?
Oh, God. Let me see. Ric Flair, of course, Blackjack Glenn's, Frank Dalton, Rocket and Sputnik Monroe, Flash Monroe. When I first got into wrestling, it was around the Mississippi area, so it was the people that were wrestling down there at that time. Bill Watts' group ran shows down there a lot. I remember, but there wasn't, it was like, just one wrestling group, and it wasn't 4 or 5 different arenas, or it wasn't anything like Vince has now.
Yeah. How did you end up getting involved in the business?
I thought this was supposed to be talking about my website.
Well, you don't want to talk about it? We'll get to it.
Okay. Okay, say it again.
How did you end up getting involved in the business?
I wound up getting involved in the wrestling business because I was sitting down watching matches with my mom a couple of times, and I thought to myself, I can do that. And the older I got, the more sense it made, considering the fact that I don't know, I just wanted someplace where I felt like I belonged at, and I could go and I could play dress up in wrestling, and I can go and scream my lungs out and get paid for it. And it was a good thing. The fans enjoyed it. They enjoyed yelling and screaming at me, and I enjoyed yelling and screaming them back at them. It's all a good thing. Everybody had a good time. I had a good time. I still have a good time with them. Whether they like me or they hate me, it really doesn't matter. They came out there, they paid their good money to see me, so I gave them everything that I had, and hopefully it was enough. And so apparently it is. And so if it was, they can just check me out on SherriMartel.com.
SherriMartel.com. We'll be sure to check it out. First question. Another question.
Well, this is a fun thing because it's the first time. This is the first time I've ever done my own website, and I've been working with a gentleman named Adam York. He's got MrWrestling.com. He makes a lot of my wrestling outfits. You know, when I have them made now, and for different outfits for different events and stuff like that. And it's just amazing. Technology these days is amazing. You know, it's changed the wrestling business. You know, it's changed everybody's life in general. You can go get on the computer. You can go find anything on there. I mean, anything. It's amazing.
And what can you find at SherriMartel.com?
What can you find on SherriMartel.com? You'll find lots of blasts from the past up to the present, probably from 1979, 1980 up to 2004. You'll find all kinds of pictures on there. You'll be surprised if you find pictures on there because we've been changing them out so much, giving a little bit. We're giving a little bit of 25 years on a few pages there, and then we'll have the photo album in there that's got 25 to 30 8x10s, 5x7s of, you know, different kinds of pictures. And and we got all kinds of stuff going in there. We got friends and foes going in there. We got, the holidays are coming up. We got good kind of deals on picture albums and 8x10s. You know, we got all kinds of stuff going on there. We've got On the Road with Sherri. When I go out on the road, I'll let everybody know what was going on and if I thought it was a terrible town in my not-so-nasty way these days, since I'm a little bit older and more experienced. Now, I have a tendency not to be so mean, but I will be honest.
Okay.
What are you laughing about?
I don't know. I just always tend to giggle like an idiot when I do these interviews. I don't know why. How involved was the Fabulous Moolah in training you?
How involved? Let me see. I was at her camp. Let me see if I remember. I went in August or September of 79, and I was there up until I went to Japan in January and February of 80. I came back and I went on a trip to work for the Memphis office, and I got hurt, and then I was out for a couple of years. So she was probably there in about 6 or 8 months, because I had went to a wrestling school before I went to Moolah's in Memphis, and I had learned to work. It was a different style, you know. It's just like, you know, back then, you know, it was either the men's style or the women's style. Well, I learned to work the men's style first, and then I learned to work the women's style when I was with Lillian, the Fabulous Moolah. And then when I went to Japan, you know, I learned to work Japanese style, which is from the left. You know, the guys go left, girls go right, Japanese go left. I go either way.
Right. Another chance, actually the first chance I got a chance to see you was in the AWA, and we just recently had Marty Jannetty on a couple times, and he told some hysterical stories about Vern Gagne. Do you have any funny stories about Vern, or how did you get along with Vern?
Vern was okay. Larry Zbyszko had helped me get my job. He had been talking to me, and that was before, that was, you know, right around there. I came up for a couple of shots to work for Vern, and Larry Zbyszko had thought I had a little bit of potential, and told me if I sat down, you know, and I learned how to do interviews, you know, I might have a future in the wrestling business. Of course, you know, that sounded all well and good too, because at the time it was a male-dominated business, and there's not too many promoters that you could actually go to, because Lillian, at the time, you know, everybody still got the girl wrestlers through Moolah. So that was just a really, really crazy time. And but Vern, I had managed to get it. Debbie Combs and I had went up there and worked, and Kenny Devine and I went up there and worked a couple of times.
Yeah.
So Larry started coaching me.
I'm still with you.
Yeah, and then we went into a meeting with Vern, and we settled everything, and I wound up moving up to Minneapolis.
That's good. What was your relationship like with Larry Zbyszko?
With Larry?
Yeah.
Oh, Larry was wonderful. Larry was wonderful. He gave me my nickname, Cher Bear. His nickname was Lair Bear. It's only because it was Larry and Sherri, and we used to hang out a lot. Let me see. Larry used to help me on a lot of my interviews. Larry got mad at me one time because he bought this new car, and he let me ride in it. No, he wouldn't let me drive it, but he let me ride in it. But we had stopped at this place. I mean, brand new car tint and everything. So we stopped and had to get a cup of coffee. So I was putting sugar in my coffee, and I had it sitting in there, and Larry took off all of a sudden, and I spilled coffee in this brand new car. Oh, he got so mad at me. Oh, he got so mad at me. And then, let me see, Larry and Kathy. Oh, Kathy Gagne was always crazy about Larry. And they wound up getting married and everything. And so that was a good thing. We had a good time in Vegas there a couple of times. She put a lip lock on him you wouldn't believe. I said, this must be true love.
How did you enjoy...
After all these years.
That's okay. How did you enjoy managing Doug Summers and Buddy Rose?
Oh, that was amazing. Well, I was one of Buddy Rose's this Glendine Mitchell night. It was when I was still with the Fabulous Moolah.
Yes.
We were his Rosebuds there a couple of times. That was when the Grand Wizard was still alive.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was kind of amazing too, because I mean, Buddy wasn't always the most patient person in the world, but you know, they did give me a chance. But when we'd had a hard day doing interviews on Tuesday, we'd have to all go in there. And, you know, we're doing interviews a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes, 3-minute interviews for inserts for the show. And I'm sitting there, and we're doing a 2.5-minute interview. I'll get like 2 minutes into the thing. I'll be rolling and everything, and then I just froze up. I forget what I was saying, and they just get mad at me for it. They say, "Jesus, Sherri." Then they hit themselves upside their head. And Buddy, he'd tell everybody that he was going to quit on the Sherri Martel blow-away diet. And Doug said, he'd just get mad at me in his deep voice. "Sherri, can't you get your interviews right? We're going to be here all day long." But it was funny. I recently saw Buddy Rose up in New Jersey, and it was amazing. I was really glad to see him out. The only regret I have is that I didn't have more time to sit down and BS with him and tell him how much I appreciated the help that he did give me. I know they used to aggravate me a whole lot, but that was to be expected, you know.
Right.
I mean, it was kind of like I had all of these big brothers all around me and everything, and everybody's. I didn't get in trouble that much, you know. I do stupid stuff, you know, like everybody in their 20s and 30s does. But,
right.
You know, no different than anybody else. But the point was, even with all the things that happened with all of us, you know, all the little troubles we got into, all the interviews I messed up and they were patient with me with, all the times I went out there and I forgot something, you know, they were still patient with me. And you know, they were wonderful. They were, I mean, how do you speak of someone that had such an influence in your life, such a positive influence, such a negative influence? I mean, these guys gave me every experience, and I mean, I'm not necessarily let me reword this right. Every emotional experience that someone could possibly think of. I mean, they've seen me at my worst, they've seen me at my best. They've seen me when I was about ready to break down, and, you know, one of them would sit down and talk to me, you know, and tell me to get my shit together, you know, and not think about myself. I wasn't the only one in this tag team. Because when you're working with a tag team, you're working with, you know, four other guys. Ever who you work like that? We used to work with the Rockers a lot.
Right.
So I was working with Buddy and Doug, you know, and we were all a total package. One day the Marquis said, you know, Buddy Rose and Doug Summers was Sherri Martel against the Rockers. You know, that's who had to be there. Otherwise, the fans were getting screwed out because they paid to see everybody. And you know, the guys were there. There were times I was up and I was down, but they were always there regardless.
Absolutely.
They were good guys. My life's a lot better having known them.
What led you deciding to leave the AWA to go to the WWF?
Money.
Simple answer.
Money. I mean, seriously, come on. Is that a fair question? Come on.
I guess it makes sense.
Okay, let me. Okay, all right. Let me lay the groundwork for you. Number one, you got Vince McMahon up there, and he's opening new avenues for people.
Right.
He's dangling carrots in front of people. He's thinking about tomorrow and what he's going to do with the wrestling business, because by this time, that senior's gone, God rest his soul, and Vince Jr. knew all along, that he was going to turn the wrestling business into something spectacular that was going to go more in the area of entertainment, which it did. And it started going that way with all the rock and roll stars, with Cyndi Lauper and with Lou Albano doing all that stuff with all of them guys. And, of course, Wendy was a champion at the time, and I don't know what happened with all of that. Whatever happened to it, happened with it, it happened, and I didn't have nothing to do with it. But with the end of Wendy being there, then I got to come up there. So, that was a cool thing. That's all I know, But I had a great time coming up there. I knew working for Vince, he's given me an opportunity. What I chose to do with it, that was my choice.
When they brought you in, they had you wrestling mostly, and then, of course, they put you with Randy Savage as the Sensational Queen.
Yeah.
Did you want to get out of the ring and start being a manager more, or were you happy in the ring?
Well, it didn't necessarily matter to me one way or the other, as long as I had a job. I mean, because I had tried, and in order to be successful and have longevity in the wrestling business, you have to be multi-talented. Number one, you have to be able to wrestle, which I knew how to do. You had to talk on a microphone, which I was getting better at doing. And plus, you look good. And at the time, I had the full package. Everything was there. All I needed was somebody to mold me a little bit. Vince McMahon was that man. He brought me in as a lady wrestler, and I hadn't been around the business. I had maybe 10 years, 10 years under my belt. I get up there, and he's not the type of person. He tells you his idea and the type of character that he wants. He always gave me leeway to where I could have some input into the development of the characters that I did, which was always really cool, because it didn't seem like I was doing something that somebody thought up. I was just bringing a part of myself out. And I didn't know that I could do a lot of that stuff that Vince knew. Vince has this gift, and he knows how to bring the best out in someone, or he knows how to get it across to the public or to you that that's what he wants. And it usually does good, because most of his ideas make money, as you well know.
Yeah, that's true, and he's been successful over the years. I mean, he said a line to Eric Bischoff the other day that, I'll be honest, I was a WCW fan, but there was a line that he had that was perfect. He said to Bischoff, "There's a reason you're the GM of Raw, and I'm not the GM of Nitro." So I thought that made perfect sense. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely.
How did you get along with Randy Savage?
I liked Randy a lot. Randy was cool. He was a real intense kind of guy. Him and he and Liz were married at the time.
Right.
And both of them were Scorpios, and they were kind of jealous of each other, but they loved each other too. That was a real heavy thing. They were lucky that the two of them, they were together in the business, because it's hard to find somebody to have a relationship with in the wrestling business, because they're going to spend a lot of time at home, and a lot of people just can't do that. Don't do alone very well. I was fortunate for Randy and Liz that they did get to work together that time, and they were very successful at it, and they were very good.
Do you have any thoughts on her passing?
Huh?
Do you have any thoughts on her recent passing away last year?
She should be here.
I know.
She should be here. She's another one of those people that made my life better by being part of it.
Right.
I'm serious. I've got a gold locket. It's actually it's a Phantom of the Opera face with a little diamond in the left side of it that her and Randy gave to me in L.A. the night that we were finishing up our program.
Yeah.
And she gave me that. It was from them, and because I had worked with them for 2 years, and and we had, I'd smuggled her in and out of airports and hotels and everything else, and we had just done all kinds of things together, and I know for a fact that she was my friend, and I liked her a whole lot. She was amazing, and I miss her. I miss her so very much.
I don't know if there's going to be anything here, but Jake Roberts, when he was on our show, spoke very suspiciously about Lex Luger. Do you have any ill will towards Lex? I mean, anything, you know what I mean?
I don't know because I didn't see. I know what all the innuendos are.
Right.
You know, but that's, he knows. You know, she knows. God knows.
Right. And I guess that's all that matters.
I'm not going to sit back and play judge and jury to anything because, you know, nothing is conclusive yet.
Yep. A guy you managed for a short time, it didn't seem to last all that long, was Ted DiBiase. How did you enjoy working with Ted?
Ted was exceptional because he was from the older school. He was from the older school of when I was watching. Because before I got in the wrestling business, you know, when I was going with my mom in Mississippi, Ted DiBiase was working for Bill Watts, going down there around that area, and I remember watching him and you know and seeing him out, you know, a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But Ted was just exceptional. He was a gentleman through and through. He always shared the limelight with me. I was real fortunate with everybody that I worked with because they weren't afraid to share the limelight with me. They weren't afraid to use me in the matches for, you know, being, you know, like somebody had to get cheap heat by using a girl. Everybody that I worked with had a mentality that doesn't matter how you get heat as long as it's good heat, good heat. There's no such thing as cheap heat, only if you're using vulgarity and you don't have a mentality big enough or vocabulary large enough to use anything but that. Not too crazy about that kind of stuff. However, the character that I used to portray would really be a conflict of interest with me.
Another guy you managed, it was probably the last one you managed in WWF, it was Shawn Michaels. You, of course, were around him in the AWA days. Did you see him evolve, and were you happy with the way he ended up turning out?
Yeah, absolutely. Shawn's total package. I mean, he had everything. I mean, when I first met him in the lockers in AWA, I used to get mad at him and everything because they used to, they like anybody else are young and up and coming superstars, you know, and they got all these girls around them, and and then they're jocks too on top of it, you know, and good looking. I mean, they had everything. So they used to think it was funny. They'd go out and have a couple of years or something at night, and when they get back up to their room about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, they thought it was real funny to pull the fire alarm, so all the hotel had to be evacuated at that time of the morning. Well, not too many people were pleased when they found out that it was a joke. Oh. It wasn't, but you know, like I said, they're like anybody else in any other sport. I'm sure, you know, they had their little things that they like to do, and it's just all part of growing up and becoming a man. Learning responsibilities, and then following through with everything that you've learned and putting it to the best possible use. All the gifts that God's given you. And I seem to think that he has done very well for himself, in my opinion.
Actually, it just turned out about 2 months ago or 3 months ago that Marty was baptized. So it looks like Shawn and Marty are friends again, and now they're both reborn. So that's pretty interesting. Now they can be Now they could be the Christian rockers. No, just kidding. Where was I? Oh, you left the WWF at this point. Is there any reason why you decided to walk away, or did they just run out of ideas, or why?
I think they kind of just ran out of ideas, and at the time, there was a couple of things that I liked doing and Vince didn't like me doing, and so we couldn't come to terms on it, so mutual agreement, we left. I left.
And you went to WCW. How did WCW compare?
I went to ECW.
That's right. You were with Shane Douglas for a short time.
Yeah. That was kind of fun up there because you could go up and work for ECW and Paulie, and work with Terry Funk and Shane Douglas and all the guys up there. Taz was up there at the time. This was before he's an announcer. Sabu, and you could go up there and you could work with all of these guys and you could do stuff there that rougher stuff.
Right.
And it's for a girl in the ring than you could anywhere else. You know, I mean, they were a little bit more lenient at that particular point, I think. And I just had a great time working up there. Shane Douglas was great. Oh, he was so funny. Terry Funk, I got you. I could get in the ring and he could slap me around anytime. He was amazing. I loved him to death. Paul Heyman, wonderful wrestling mind, wonderful guy. I I just had a great time with them guys.
How did you enjoy WCW compared to the WWF?
There's no comparison. Once you work for Vince, there's no comparison working for somebody else. I mean, it's just, the ship is just not run as tight. It's not. It was very loose. I'm sure they did what they did with what they had.
Right.
I'm being very vague here, aren't I? I'm sure they did the best they did with what they were thinking at the time, whatever that was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can think anything you want to think. I don't know what they were thinking or anything else, but well, we know who works for who now, so that's about all there is to that.
Right. You mentioned Ric Flair is one of your favorites when you started getting involved in the business, and of course you ended up managing him. Was that an honor for you to be side by side with Rick?
Very much so. Hey, it was an honor to walk with any of those guys. Flair, he'll go down in, you know, in history. You know, he's made his mark on the history books as far as the wrestling business goes, and it was an honor to work with him there for a while. It really, really was. I'm happy to say he's my friend, and I just enjoyed it. I learned a lot of things from him, you know, and he's not. He's just a funny guy. I really enjoyed the Nature Boy. He's timeless. Really is.
How did you enjoy managing Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray?
Oh, my two big brothers. Oh, they were wonderful. I still keep in touch with them. Oh, those guys are amazing. Our favorite subjects at the time was O.J. Simpson, Rick James. O.J. Simpson, because you know he kept saying if what is it, you have to quit if the
glove doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. Well, that was going around. That was the main topic of stuff. And because it was funny because when they brought me in there, Kevin Sullivan had brought me in there originally into WCW.
Right.
And they were going to put me originally with Ron Simmons. Well, that was about the time the thing happened when Nicole Brown Simpson and OJ. And so they said, you know, that might be pushing the envelope a little bit. So instead of putting me with one big old black guy, they put me with two great big old black guys. And so we all became really, really good friends, and it was just amazing to work with them because, you know, it's like having two big old brothers. I mean, nobody would mess with me in their right mind. I mean, seriously, I never had to worry about anybody saying anything bad about anything.
Right.
And if they did, it didn't matter anyway because they would say it under their breath. So it really didn't matter. But Booker and Stevie, they're my friends, and I tell you, I love them to death. I really, really do.
They did a really weird wedding angle with you and Colonel Robert Parker, and there was a big blow-up with Medusa. And it just didn't make any sense to me. Did it make any sense to you, and how did you enjoy that?
Well, it was fun while it was going on, but it wound up not making any sense. It just, I don't know. It was just all crazy.
Was that kind of how?
It just didn't seem like they carried it through, or it just seemed like it became silly. It really did to me.
Right.
I mean, not that I don't like doing silly stuff, but it just didn't seem to have reasoning behind it.
Absolutely.
Oh, well.
Yeah. In '97, you stepped away from WCW. Was there any reason why you stepped away?
Yeah, I got fired.
Well, what'd you do? Was there something that you done? Or?
Was it something that I'd done? It was probably a few things that I done. I pissed Eric Bischoff off, and he pissed me off, so it was just it.
All right. So in the past, I saw an interview you did a few years ago, and you were talking about, I think it was an upstart indie promotion that you were going to be working side by side with. How has that progressed in time?
How's what?
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was South Carolina Wrestling that you said you were going to be a part of.
Southeastern Championship.
Yes,
right?
There we go. Yes.
No. That's another one of those golden pretty boys that gets an idea in his head that he wants to be a wrestling promoter and that he is God's gift to Vince McMahon. That Vince McMahon is just sitting back and waiting for this person just to walk in front of him to say, God, I just had an epiphany. You're going to be a fortune, and I've been waiting for you. Well, anyway, that was about what all that amounted to. And that didn't go very far. And, I'm sorry to say, some people need to keep their feet on the ground and their head out of the clouds a little bit more.
And, of course, you can check you out at SherriMartel.com. Do you mind if we just close out with a few word associations?
Yeah, go right ahead.
You can give a one-word answer if you like, and if you have a story, feel free to fire away.
Okay.
All right, first name on the list is Missy Hyatt.
Missy Hyatt. I don't know. I've been wanting to. I like Missy. Had a few matches with her. I've been trying to find somebody that has that book because I want to read it, and I hear she dished a lot of people. That would have been Missy if I read it.
I've read it. I don't think she bashes you in the book. I think it's more men that she bashes. But I read it.
Oh, she bashed. Oh, I still want to see who she bashed. I read everybody's book, but I can't find hers.
I think it's up on Amazon.com still. I'm not sure. Anyway, next name on the list would be, I think you mentioned him, Shane Douglas. Dr. Martin. He used to always, when we was working at ECW before I went to WCW, he was going to medical school before he started getting real serious with the wrestling business again. And I used to sit down and I'd look at him, we'd have his wrestling gear on, and I'd close my eyes and I'd think, and I'd be laying on an operating table, and then, they were putting the gas on my nose, and, I was real woozy, and I'd open my eyes and look, the doctor just walked in, and he had on down wrestling boots, wrestling tights, a stethoscope around his neck, and it was Shane Douglas walking in there with a scalpel in one hand. And he said, let's do it. Oh, God. But I love he was, what a nice guy he was, though. Always a nice guy. We were staying at this one hotel one time where we were eating, my girlfriend Cassie Fitzpatrick, we were all sitting down at Shoney's, and he would sit down. I'd go up to the buffet to fill my plate up again, and he would have gotten spaghetti on a previous buffet run, and he set the damn buffet. He set the spaghetti sauce down in my seat, and I sat down in the damn spaghetti sauce every time. I got him back a couple of times, though. How about Marty Jannetty?
Marty Jannetty. Oh, God, Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty and the Rockers. I never. He was him and Sean. They do mischievous things, not bad things or any, just mischievous things that guys do.
Right.
And God bless him. I talked to him a couple of days ago, and he was doing all right. And I'm just happy that I can pick up the telephone, or I can look on my website and go to my emails, and I can see people that I knew years ago and talk to them, and they're still here. That's just an amazing thing to me. Like Marty a lot, he was amazing.
How about one that is unfortunately no longer here, that I know you were in the AWA with and seemed to follow your career with, Curt Hennig?
Curt?
Yeah.
Curt Hennig and Scott Hall were the AWA Tag Team Champions when I went up there,
right.
when I first went to Minneapolis, and I started working with Buddy and Doug. And it was from Curt Hennig and Scott Hall that they first won the tag team titles. Well, Curt and Scott, they were always real funny. Scott lived across, we had a apartment up there across from the Minneapolis airport, and it was kind of like the Melrose 90210 thing. You know that apartment, they had the swimming pool in the middle.
Right.
Well, we had an apartment like that up in Minnesota too, and so when I would cook, everybody'd always open their doors. Everybody knew somebody was cooking or something was going on, and so they would always, Curt was coming over to visit Scott, they'd always come down and see what I was cooking. And then on top of it, it's got to be winter one year, and we were over there doing interviews on Tuesday, so Curt Hennig and Scott Hall took Nick Bockwinkel's championship belt, they hid it out under the snow, and Nick Bockwinkel was known as the champion without a belt. He didn't get his belt back until the springtime, and the snow melted.
So it was still there for how many months?
Yeah, oh God, whole winter. Whole winter.
And in Minnesota, that's almost all year round.
I'm serious. Curt was just always good. He was always respectful, and he was just an amazing guy. I liked him a whole lot. The world was a nicer place with him in it.
All right. How How about, I'm sorry to hit you with another one that we lost. I know this one was somebody you hung around with in a few times in the last years of his life. How about Road Warrior Hawk?
Oh, Hawk. Oh, Hawk was, oh, God. I tell you what, they got a hell of a card up there, you know.
Right.
Hawk was on that WCW, I mean, not WCW, the SCW, that group when I was living up in Lexington. I was trying to get that going.
Yeah.
Well, I had him up on a couple of the shows and everything, and I've got this thing on the, you know, the Hawk cam, so where he takes the camera. He did for Smart Mart Video, and he takes the camera around and he's talking about different people in the wrestling business and all kinds of stuff. But I was so fortunate and thankful that I had that tape and that I had saved it, because, you know, not too long after that, you know, he had passed away. But God, I miss him so much. I mean, I can go back and I can watch that tape, and that's the only way I'll ever hear that. I want to rush again. But that is, I miss him a lot. Really do.
I actually have that tape that you were talking about. That was really very interesting to watch when it first happened. And the line that I remember that Larry Zbyszko, that's not funny anymore, that he said, Hawk is still alive. And I don't know, when I look back at that, it kind of strikes me as...
He is.
I know.
As long as the guys and the girls are alive in our hearts, they're not gone.
Right.
We just as humans, we're just kind of selfish, because we're spoiled and we want to see them and touch them. But just because they're not here in body doesn't mean they're not here in our hearts. As long as they're alive in our hearts, they'll always go alive.
Okay. Three more names left on the list. Candy Divine.
Candy Divine. Oh, Candy was amazing. I won my first title for Candy.
Yeah, AWA.
Yeah. At Kaminsky Park. That was amazing. That was fun. Oh, me and Candy had our first match, and it was Kaminsky Park, and it was the first time I've won the belt. But I was wearing contacts that night, and for some reason, I think I had just gotten them, and the contact fell out of my eye and it fell on the mat. Well, for some reason, I was right in the middle of a wrestling match, and I seen it, and I picked my damn contact up and put it in my mouth. Well, I wound up swallowing the damn thing, and I went ahead and went through the match, and got a big Candy, went back to the dressing room, and wound up throwing my guts up to try to get that contact out. Can you believe that?
I guess they didn't have disposables back then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was crazy. But it was wonderful. Me and Candy have known each other for a lot of years. We went through a lot of ups and downs. We know the worst and the best about each other, and we're still friends, so that's okay. A lot of miles. A lot of miles.
How about, what was her name? Medusa. We had her on. She spoke very highly of you, so I thought I'd throw you in.
Medusa. Oh, man. She was a go-getter. Do you know that she went and lived over in Japan for a couple of years?
Yeah, and she actually had
do you know how ballsy that is? I mean, from what I know, she didn't know anything about, she didn't know how to speak Japanese or nothing when she first went over there. But I tell you, I had a lot of respect for her. She went and did a lot of things. She went and did a lot of things outside of the wrestling business after she left. And I tell you what, I just always enjoyed her. She was always entertaining. Of course, I'm sure I entertained her a little bit too over the years.
Right.
We had some good matches. We really did. But she was always there. She was always very solid. She was a hell of a lady wrestler.
I just remembered.
She was a hell of a person too.
I just remember you made one appearance in WCW in I think 2000. It was just one match. It was a fairly short match. And were you planning on returning at that point, or was that just something that you just happened to be in the arena, or what?
It is something I happened to be in the arena, I guess.
Okay. Just was curious because I thought it was odd that you just kind of showed up. But then again, that's kind of...
Hey, since when does anything in...
Actually, I have two more. I'm sorry. Second to last is Eric Bischoff.
Oh, what did you say about Eric Bischoff? He had a shot to make something big, and he had all the money in the world. He had Ted Turner's money behind it, and he didn't. The decisions that he made, apparently, well, we know where he's working now, so that's about all I got to say on Eric Bischoff. I mean, he did what he thought was right, at the time. I mean, I suppose. But, I mean, I'm sure I have nothing personal against him. Probably not. No. Nah, nothing personal against him, not anymore. I used to hate him, but oh well. You get over the little thing.
And the last one is Vince McMahon.
I love Vince. I always love Vince. They always will. Vince treated me good. You know, people could say what they want, you know, and they can make references to this or that. But, you know, when it all comes down to it, you know, and I think about Vince McMahon, he's done nothing but help me out over the years. You know, he gave me opportunity to work in and do something that I love very much. And I got to go all over the place. You know, I can walk into any arena right now, walk up to the man and shake his hand, and I can be welcome in any arena that they play in. And that's a good feeling. That is a good feeling. Whether I'll ever go back, that remains to be seen either. But I still walk up every time I go see Vince McMahon, and I'll give him a hug and hug his neck. And that's a fact.
Just one quick question before I let you go that just popped into my mind. What is your opinion of NWA TNA?
No, I get, you know, hey, as long as it's the way I'm trying to look at it is a positive thing. It's not Vince.
Right.
It's another place for the guys have to go and learn.
Right.
And get experience. Okay, these guys are doing you know, with the ring with the 6 sides and everything. Now Vince is not doing that, so it's giving not only the boys another place to go work, but it's also giving the audience, you know, a choice.
Right.
And you know, and they can, you know, it's good to have a little competition.
Right.
It really is.
Okay, well, we can't thank you enough for being on the show. I know this probably went a little longer than you expected, but thank you so much.
Okay.
And SherriMartel.com is the website?
Yeah, SherriMartel.com is the website. And don't forget, we got the photo albums. It's going to be listed this week, and we're going to have all kinds of items for sale, all kinds of memorabilia, and you just never know what you're going to find on SherriMartel.com.
Here's an idea. You mentioned Missy Hyatt's autobiography. Would you ever consider writing one?
Oh, it's in the works.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
Okay,
it's in the works. Everybody else is doing it. I got to do one too.
I'm actually working with Ricky Steamboat on his. So.
Are you really?
Yeah. So hopefully that'll come out. We're hoping to get it out by the end of next year. So hopefully.
Right. Hey, be sure to give him my best if you talk to him.
Yes, and Bonnie Steamboat also said to say hello.
Oh, please tell her hello.
Okay, shall do. All right, well, once again, thank you so much, and stay tuned for more from the interactive interview. Welcome back to the interactive interview. We just finished up with Sherri Martel. Well, I did.
Yeah, to be more correct, you just finished up with Sherri Martel.
Yes, I did. You haven't heard it yet, but I'll tell you this much. It's really a fun interview. Sherri was you know, I had this conversation with Bonnie Steamboat, former guest on the show, about Sherri. And we were discussing her, and the one thing that both of us kept saying that I noticed in her phrasing was that she's one of a kind and unique. And I think people listening to this will hear that too. In that she's different, not strange different. Not to the point where she's peculiar. But she's unique in that there's not a lot of people that are as open and honest as she is. And I think that's a trait that should be admired. And I invite people to go check out SherriMartel.com, her new website, as she came on to promote. And I did check it out, and it's a nice design, and there's some nice merchandise on there.
It's a very well laid out website, actually.
Yeah.
While we're on about it, I'll make sure I get that in the link section.
Absolutely.
Because I had today, former guest of the show, Big Vito's now got a new site, big-vito.com. That's also in the link section.
Big -sign Vito?
Yeah, quite like the last time when we thing, we can decide whether it's a dash or a dash or a dash or a minus, minus.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Right.
It's a sign.
Yeah. Big-Vito equals.com. No, not the equals. Okay.
Big-Vito.com equals good.
Equals good, yes. But you don't want to type that in because that might not pull it up.
Yeah, that'll screw up, yeah.
Yeah. You're probably going to get one of those, this page cannot be displayed messages.
Yes, which I seem to get even when the page can be displayed. Anyway.
Having computer troubles?
No, not computer troubles, just been messing about with my settings, so trying to figure out why I keep getting a problem with the DLL error coming up. And I figured out that the reason was because I deleted it.
Now, what is a DLL? Because I got that message before, too.
It's some file. It's too late for me to bother trying to remember what it is, what it does. But it's like a lot of programs have them and stuff, so you get those on your computer.
Right.
And if you, when you uninstall a program, if you, when it files it says this file is being shared by the programs. If you say yes to all and you delete them, then there's a good chance that it actually legitimately will be being used by the programs.
Right.
And this was the case with this one, because I installed some program I didn't want anymore, and I just went yes to all by accident.
Oops.
Let me do that. And it deleted it. So when it tried to start up at the beginning, it was loading this program in the background, but then it wasn't working anymore. So I had to go into my MS config and do all that stuff.
You know, there's an easy way to do this, and this is what I do, and I know it's probably not the computer guy's way to do it. When you buy your computer, you get 2 restore CDs.
Yep.
So I just email myself any important files, and just delete everything and just run the restore CDs. I figure it keeps it running smoother, and I just don't have to deal with calling these guys and saying, what is whatever.dll? And they're like, I never heard of that file. Well, geez, you're a computer whiz. You should know something, you know. I don't know. I don't get along with computer.
That was probably why you often lose my phone number.
Yes, but that's one of the important files I manage to email myself all the time. Yes. As soon as I'm smart enough to realize I need to download a data burning program, I will burn a CD full of all that all the numbers and stuff.
Oh, dear.
I almost said an S word, which wouldn't matter because we've said a lot worse, but for some reason I censored myself.
Now, I apologise for not being here for the Sherri interview. Of course, as some people may know, I've been trying to get busy.
Yes. IPW UK.
Had our first show.
How would it go?
Went very well. Hopefully I can try and get Colt Cabana on the show sometime. Because Colt was the guest MC for the evening.
Oh, he was your special guest announcer?
He wasn't it?
Colt
And he
Cabana.
was hilarious.
What did he say?
Oh, he just said some very... Basically, he did a good job of being funny in a non-funny way. So he was saying things that weren't funny, but because they weren't funny, they were making people laugh. And then he actually threw in some legitimately funny things as well, so... Varied up his act quite well.
So tell us what was on the card.
Opening match was a couple of guys from the WWF up in Newcastle in North England, who I've been impressed with, so I brought them down. Sean Avery against Assassin. Assassin went over. This is in the tournament in the evening, with the winner of the tournament facing Super Dragon in the main event, but I'll get to that in a second. Second match on the card was a guy called Jeb Masters working outside the WWF for the first time against a little man Spud, who
I've heard a lot about.
Yeah, some people liken him to Spike Dudley and such, but he's very good. And Jed won that contest. Then in the third match we had homeboy Tony Sefton. When I say homeboy, I don't mean like he's a gangster. I mean he's local, from the area. Against the Essex boy, Darren Burridge. And I must say that Darren is absolutely phenomenal on microphone. He's now headed out to Thailand for a few months, so won't be seen on many future shows, but he's brilliant. He did wonderfully on the microphone to get the...
What's he doing in Thailand?
Pardon?
What's he doing in Thailand?
He went over there to work for a Thai Wrestling Federation for a few months. Then that went tits up. But now he's heading back over there because he likes the country and stuff, so...
Well, the guy that, for those who don't know, I go to some meditation groups, and the guy that runs that is from... Actually, he's from Boston, and he moved to Thailand for a couple of years to practice his craft, so... That's why I asked, because he seems to say that almost everybody over there is Buddhist, so it's pretty interesting.
But yeah, in that one, Tony went over on that one.
Right.
In a really good match. And then in the main, the final match in the first half was Johnny Storm, the Wonder Kid.
Former guest on the show.
Former guest of the show. Against the FTW champion from up north, Rob Hunter. And,
Rob who?
Rob Hunter.
Hunter, okay.
He's called the Sensation of the Nation. And Colt announced him as something like the Sensation of the Nation of Temptation, the Abrasion, something. And he pretty much just talked for a long time. So, pretty interesting. I was standing with Rob when he was being introduced, and we all found it pretty interesting. So, yeah, so that was a good match as well, and that was the first half. We had the interval. And in the second half, we started out with a tag match between Robbie Brookside, former World of Sport legend, and Colt Cabana.
He wrestled too?
Yeah, he wrestled too.
How'd he do?
They won against the Shining Light Stevie Knight and Ricky Knight, the Zebra Kid's father, who was also in FWA and such, and owns WAW. Just to give you a bit of background on that. And Colt and Robbie won that encounter, which was a very good match. I mean, as promoter, I didn't get to see much of the show first time round, but I've seen the video. And it came out well. I've seen the bits I want to improve, but really enjoyed the tag match. It really varied up the show, actually having a non-singles competition on the show. And then of course we had our other non-singles competition, which was the four-way match, the four winners of the first four tournament matches in the semi-final. No rules, four-way, with basically Johnny Storm was attacked at the beginning of the match by the International Man of Mystery. They chased him off for a great deal of the match, battling outside, which left...
Who was the International Man of Mystery? Is that the question?
That's the question. I believe we're going to find out November 21st.
Oh, yeah.
I hear rumours. Touch the like. But, which left Tony Sefton against two IWF boys, Assassin and Jed Masters, who he managed to overcome, only for Johnny to come back in with a steel chair shot to the head, and he actually pinned Assassin to advance to face Super Dragon in the final.
Wow.
In between that, we did a raffle, which went very well, because one of our IPW assistants for the evening actually managed to win the first prize, completely legitimately, and it looked so rigged. It really must have looked so rigged, but it was completely legitimate. So
right.
That guy bought 5 strips of tickets. So I mean, if he wins, we can't say no, just because you're staff.
What did he win?
He won 2 tickets to the next show. Which is quite funny because he'll be at the next show anyway. But I guess he gets to bring 2 family members along now. So.
That's good. Yes.
Sounds good. And then we made a big announcement, which I'll talk about in a second. Next show. And then the main event was Super Dragon versus Johnny Storm in an Iron Fist match. I think I spoke briefly about that before, but the rules were that there was a 30-minute time limit, and the person with the most falls after 30 minutes won. However, the match could be ended at any time in that 30 minutes if someone was knocked out. There weren't any knockouts. It went into sudden death at the end of it at 2-2. Super Dragon taking the lead 1-0, then it went to 1-1. Super Dragon up 2-1, then 2-2. And then Super Dragon got the win in sudden death after hitting Psycho Driver first. Johnny Storm kicks out, with Psycho Driver being Super Dragon's finisher. Johnny Storm.
What kind of move would that be?
It's hard to describe, because the way it's done is that you're in a torture rack position. And then basically it's kind of a fork and arrow pile driver.
So you drop them on their head?
Yeah.
Wow.
A bit like Scott Steiner's screwdriver pile driver, but slightly more flowing than that, rather than drilling and more of a flowing maneuver.
Well, that Scott Steiner's move is kind of vicious looking.
Yeah. And again, if you look at the Psycho Driver, I'm sure you can find it on pretty much all PWG DVDs and such, so you can find it pretty easily, but Psycho Driver's pretty insane looking.
Right.
The Psycho Driver regular. Johnny Storm kicked out, then Dragon picks him back up, hit the pump handle variation, and got the pin.
Yeah.
Super Dragon, winner of the first IPW tournament.
Does he get a belt?
He doesn't. He just got a warm pat on the back and congratulations. So I'm sure...
In the future, are we going to see an IPW championship belt?
Indeed, that is plan for the future. So
Good.
we'll see when that arises. But the announcement was that we've managed to coax Nick Mondo of CZW fame back out of retirement for a couple of matches.
Wow.
So one in Germany on November the 20th for WXW, and then one for IPW UK on November 21st.
Any chance we can get Nick Mondo on the show? On this show?
Indeed. I'd love that. Hopefully, you know, what I'll try and do is come on and promote his appearances and just generally talk about his new DVD and such in the coming weeks. But,
That'd be cool.
it would be cool indeed, because that was a guest that a lot of people requested.
Yes, and a lot of people that have recently sent me death threats.
Ah,
So, I'm not kidding. I got a few instant messages last night. I hope you effing die. It's like, oh, thanks. Always nice to hear from fans. I wrote an article about...
yeah, we all hope you die.
Oh, thank you.
But, you know, I mean,
I wrote
it's affectionate.
Right. I wrote an article for...
We'd like to die in a nice way. I mean, you know, like maybe being suffocated by two humongous breaths. That would be a nice way to die. So, I wish that one. Anyway, you was going to say something.
I wrote an article. I don't really know how to reply to that one. I wrote an article for 24wrestling.com, which is a new site that I'm working with. Your friend Tim Brown is running it.
Oh, yes, Tim.
So, anyway, I wrote an article for them, basically citing my opinion of CZW. And a lot of CZW fans did not like it. So, I've been getting a lot of death threats, but I'll keep that a secret when Nick comes on, so he doesn't know.
CZW is quite good, as long as you catch the right stuff.
And I've heard that, and you know, they got Sanjay Dutt, former guest on the show. They got a couple guys that actually can work. What I don't like is the ultra violence. I just think it's not necessary, and it just looks so bad. I mean, and people say, well, that's not what sells the show. Yes, it is. When you see advertisements, and they don't really have a TV show, when you see advertisements for them, say on a video that you buy, if they happen to have an advertisement on there, or a video used to run advertisements for them on their tapes at the end of the tape. What they show is guys getting thrown over the top rope head first into a wall, and guys getting hit with light tubes and things exploding. You don't see wrestling. And the thing about it is, their ultra-violence is what sells the company. Now, I don't mind CZW. I actually hope they succeed. I just think that stuff looks too much like backyard wrestling, and I think the guys that do it, for the most part, don't have the talent to actually wrestle, so they just decide, well, I'm just going to beat the shit out of this guy now. So then again, people don't like that.
One of the reasons we're bringing Nick back is because before he did things like, you know, the light tubes and stick bumps and all that,
Right.
some of his actual, the actual wrestling was, you know, good stuff.
I like Nick Mondo.
Who knows whether Nick would be the person he would be today, and have, you know, the legacy that he's got if he didn't do that stuff. I mean, he most likely wouldn't.
Right.
But he's perfectly credible without it. And, you know, whether he ends up doing something hardcore for IPW or not, you know, he'll have a good match and it'll be memorable. So.
The thing is, you know, hardcore wrestling, and I'll say it again, it was brought to America from Japan by ECW. And what ECW was doing was a toned-down version of what they were doing in Japan. ECW influenced wrestling in a big way. WCW and WWE created hardcore divisions, and they did it better than ECW. And that simply was the end of ECW as we knew it. Now you have companies popping up all the time trying to recreate ECW, and they just don't work. CZW has been the most successful. I'm surprised they're still around. But all I'm saying is, it's still built on the back of hardcore wrestling brought by ECW. And frankly...
I mean, there's got to be a hardcore alternative somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it wasn't CZW, then you'd have, you know, someone else popping along and doing the same sort of show. Maybe not doing it as well, because, I mean, I was looking back today at a music video that someone made.
Right.
Of a match between Johnny Storm and Jody Flash.
At CZW. That's impressive.
I mean, good stuff. They've had good matches all over the place, to be fair.
Right.
Like a TLC match they had at the Wrestle Express show that wasn't as advertised. That was the show that changed venue, changed lineup and everything. But
Right.
they had a great match there, and they had a great match at a lot of other shows.
Well, what is the story on Jody?
Jody? What do you mean? What story?
Is he still retired?
Yep, he's still retired.
You gonna get him to come out?
Me? No, I don't. I mean, if anyone's got a chance for him to come out of retirement, it's the FWA.
Right.
And who knows? There'd be a good setting in British Uprising 3, which is on November 13th of this year. So I'm sure if he's ever going to go out of retirement, it'll be then, because they've booked a big venue. Could have some big guests coming over and such. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, so I just to inform people, I just finished up watching TNA Impact. This is when we're recording this, if you're wondering. And they were advertising that Roddy Piper's big announcement was coming up next week. So you know what that means?
No.
That means it's time to get Piper on the show.
So, no,
Yeah, it's going to be soon.
we'll have to give him some calls.
Yes, well, I've already emailed him, and we'll see what happens. He said he'd come on as soon as he announced it to further and explain exactly what he was saying, so it looks like he found his venue to announce it for the first time, and he'll come on and explain it to us. He'll have a conversation about his career, and just basically, hopefully, we'll get an interview from him. No guarantees on how long that'll last. I would be surprised if he gives us 51 minutes like Sting did, but he'd probably give us a good 20-minute, 30-minute interview.
Also, the reaction to the Sting interview has been excessively great.
Yeah, I got a lot of emails.
And, I mean, the downloads we've had have been of extended Ric Flair proportions. What I mean by that is that Ric's interview got a hell of a lot of downloads in a short period of time. Of course, it was up for a long time. You know, it got dribs and drabs of downloads the entire time it was up. But Sting had what I would call extended downloads, in that it got obviously a lot in the first few days, but since then it's been getting a steady good high amount of in the high hundreds per day. So who knows if that stays up, and the amount of people keeps staying the same.
Just keep an eye on the counters, so it doesn't knock it offline.
How do you mean? Oh, with the...
Yeah, because I know a couple of them got knocked offline for the time.
Yeah, that was annoying. Basically, I made an error in the way I coded a lot of things, and they weren't resetting themselves. So basically, a big file built up, and then certain files basically became disabled.
Are they going to be up there now, though?
Yeah, I fixed it all. Well, I think I fixed it all.
So if there's any problems...
Well, that's about 5 months when it builds up again. So.
Well, let me put it this way. If anybody encounters a problem in the future, just drop us an email and explain exactly what does not work, and we will get it up. There's nothing more frustrating to me than hearing, "Fix your site!" Well, I go to the site and it's there. What's wrong with it? Tell me what's wrong and we'll fix it. You can't be that vague,
dear. But, yeah, so this coming just to move on, completely change subject.
Right.
It's coming Sunday, No Mercy, WWE SmackDown pay-per-view offering.
I can't believe, dude, it's been a year.
Since?
Well, I remember sitting here a year ago doing the last No Mercy preview.
Do you?
Yeah. And I remember thinking that I'm going to play No Mercy by LA Guns. And I did. I played a live version by Jersey Pearl, who... Okay,
then we'll play the same song again.
Do you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Alright.
Have it like our yearly, No Mercy party type thing.
Alright, well, last time I played a live version by Jersey Pearl, who was the kind of substitute lead singer, so why don't I play the original version this time?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Alright.
And then next year, I'll let you actually record your own version, sing it, put it on.
Okay.
So I'm so hoping that we're not here this time next year.
Oh god, I hope we are, but...
For that reason. No, just for that reason. Apart from that, can we just stop a week before and then maybe start up 2 weeks later?
Yeah, sure. Take a month break at that point, just so you don't have to hear me.
I think that's a good idea.
Come on, I hold you tight there. Alright, I understand it.
So the cast for the show, pretty much 100% now, because we've had our last SmackDown offering.
And I want to just point this out real quick. What a disappointment it was last week when they brought Hogan, Austin, Stephanie McMahon, and Mick Foley back for pre-taped interviews. that were not all that in-depth at all. I mean, it was just like, my favorite SmackDown moment was July 4th. Well, isn't that tremendous? You know, if I was in the crowd and this was held in Phoenix, which is about 10 minutes away from me, if I was considering going to the event just because there was an off chance that Hogan would actually be there. Now, if I would have gone and they would have had a pre-tape and everything else was the same old shit that they were putting on every week anyway, I would have been pretty pissed off. So,
I suppose, to be fair, they never said that they'd be there live in person.
That's true. And, you know, they didn't false advertise or anything. I'm just saying that I would have been pissed because I was more hoping that they would show up in the arena, and you know the crowd would have gone crazy if those guys would have shown up.
Yeah, it would have been a bit... But I think it would have been way more hyped if those people were going to be there in person.
Absolutely, right.
So,
would have drawn a bigger number, too.
But apparently... I think last week did a really bad SmackDown rating, and this week did a really superbly high SmackDown rating.
What do you think
It was good. It was preempted in a couple of places. You know, I don't really follow it too closely because it's American television, and I don't really have to follow it.
Right.
But apparently it was like if it hadn't have been preempted, and then they predict that it would have been the highest SmackDown rating in a hell of a long time. Like 4.3 or something.
The thing about SmackDown is the shows are actually getting better, but there's still this vibe given off by the show that it's the secondary show compared to Raw. And that's just a problem they're going to have to work on and fix and try to get the crowd more lively. I know that people at the beginning thought SmackDown was going to be the more wrestling show, and maybe to a degree it has been, but for some reason that's just not working. Maybe it's, I've had a theory, and I've always had this theory, that the colors make an impact on the show. And to me, that damn color of blue drives me crazy. I can't stand it. It gives me a headache looking at it. So I think that hurts it. WCW in 2000, whoever had this idea, I'd like to take them out back and just beat the tar out of them. They had this idea that they were going to use these bright blue ropes, and it just looked horrible. It was just, it was like staring into the sun for 2 hours. It was just horrible and bright, and, I'm all for colorful lighting and all that stuff, but when you have those blue ropes that are just stand out way too much, I mean, in reality, the ropes should not stand out when you're watching a show. I mean, you should know they're there, but they shouldn't be like, ooh, what's going on in the blue planet now? It's just ridiculous.
Blue Planet, I like it. But, I mean, on the plus side, the cards and stuff for SmackDown and on, for the pay-per-views have been improving.
Yes, they have been.
I mean, it couldn't get much worse than, obviously, that 1 month where they had Kinder Suzuki versus Billy Gunn and then, the Mordecai squash match within the space of about 15 minutes. So it couldn't get much worse than that.
I think that was the Great American Bash, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Right. The only thing cool about that event was how well the arena was set up. They had it set up with the red, white, and blue ropes, and it just looked like an older event. It just looked really cool, I thought, anyway. But I just, they have the No Mercy coming up. The main event of the evening is The Undertaker against JBL in a last ride match, which ultimately is a casket match with a coffin instead, with a hearse instead.
Yeah, it's kind of like a casket match mixed with an ambulance match.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ambulance match. Or an asket match. Asket. Asket?
Okay.
Or gasket match. Yeah, so it's like a last ride match.
Yeah,
I mean, it's mixed into popular and previously used ideas, so, fair play.
Yeah.
First ever, for the title. Viscera and Gangrel seem now to be distant.
Are they still a part of the company?
Well, they were signed on short-term contracts, so whether they are or not, we will probably find out on Sunday. If they don't appear on Sunday, then I imagine they're probably not.
Yeah, and it's good to have that kind of depth to a roster is important.
Yeah.
So adding those two, even if it's just for, sudden appearances, is good.
Yeah.
And, it's not like Vince doesn't have the money, too. So
who do you think will win this epic encounter?
I hate to say it, but I think they're going to give it to The Undertaker. And, unfortunately, Undertaker's never been good with the belt. He's always been a good hunter of the belt, but when he gets the belt, he's never been as
solid, much like Sting. You know, he's great when he's hunting for the belt, but once he gets the belt, it's kind of like, okay, well, when's he going to lose it now? So, I don't know. That's my opinion.
I share your opinion on The Undertaker being a good chaser of the belt.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't find him a bad champion or whatever. I mean, someone said the other day they cry if The Undertaker won the belt again. And then someone replied to them saying, well, you must have been absolutely ready to, cut your wrist when Triple H won it. Won it back off Randy Orton, because that was the 9th time, whereas Taker had it, obviously, not even half as many times as that.
All right, he's had it a good amount of times. He won it from Hogan twice, and I know he had it a couple times in the Attitude Era.
Is it not 4 total, or is it 5 total?
This might be the 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
In that case, that would be slightly more than half then.
Yes.
My point.
Don't worry, before Triple H is done, it'll be about half.
Good. And so I honestly think they'll probably keep it on JBL. And that's probably the smart move. And about 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, you would never have had those words come out of my mouth.
I think what they're going to do with this is they're going to have a way that somebody will come out and help JBL, and it'll set up the next feud for The Undertaker. If they have JBL go over, I just have a funny feeling that they're going to go with Angle and Undertaker, even though they've done absolutely nothing to set that up yet. I just have a feeling that's what they're going to be going for Survivor Series or even WrestleMania.
I think now would be a good time to bring back Mordecai if they're going to do the whole Mordecai Undertaker thing.
Well, I think that boat has sailed.
Possibly.
I think once you have Rey Mysterio crush him, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I mean, they can pretend that didn't happen, but there's still tape of it out there, so. Like Shane Douglas said, once you have that out there, some people don't forget, Once you have a really, squash match, you just don't forget it. I don't know. That character, if he comes back...
It'd be like if Hogan came back and then, Matt Morgan beat him.
Right.
Nice quick squash.
Who's Matt Morgan?
Matt Morgan, one of the guys who's on the Big Show's team at the Survivor Series last year.
That's right.
I think he's the WWF champion.
That's right, I remember that name.
Must have really improved.
That'll be impressive. Speaking of a Big Show, I'm a little bit upset that they cut his hair. He was starting to get the longer hair again, and he started looking like the Giant, I mean, that was cool, because when he was the Giant, that was his best time in wrestling. That was when he came in, he was on top of the world. He came in, who would, in '95, wanted to come into wrestling and be immediately put into a feud with Hogan, and to get the world title. Fresh out of the chute, getting the world title. That's just huge. And, nobody would beat him. When he got slammed, it was a huge thing. Hogan slammed him, and then Luger racked him, and that was pretty much all I can remember. And then, of course, Kevin Nash almost killed him when he powerbombed him. But, he didn't get thrown around. He didn't get thrown around by everybody, and that's the problem. That's the end of the myth of the big guy now, because he gets thrown around every week. And that's the problem.
So, of course, Big Show, speaking of him, he's facing Kurt Angle.
Absolutely.
And Kurt's little posse.
Right.
There's Luther Reigns, who's also in action. We'll speak about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Jindrak. Interesting little threesome. Kind of the evolution of SmackDown, almost.
Big Show against all three of those?
Yeah. Angle against Big Show. Your thoughts?
Like I said, I think they're going to go with Angle Undertaker at some point very soon. So etiquette would dictate that Angle would probably go over. Unfortunately, if we're planning on doing anything with the Big Show again, I think it's important that this being his first feud back, that he has to win. So personally, I would say Big Show goes over. But if they're going to go with Angle Undertaker, then I guess Angle will have to go over. But I guess my vote will be, what I hope happens is I hope Big Show goes over.
So you hope Big Show and you think Angle?
Yeah, but I'm going to put my money on Big Show.
Excellent. I also agree with you. I want the Big Show to go over. And I hope he does. And I think he will, because I don't think they're going to do Kurt Angle and Undertaker just yet. And so I think that as a way to possibly maybe get another match in, or even set up for the Big Show versus someone,
Right.
But the next pay-per-view, I think that they're going to have Big Show. I'm kind of talking against my argument, really. I'm kind of arguing a point that I didn't mean to. Anyway, I just, long story short, I agree with you. I think the Big Show.
Absolutely. Next match is Luther Reigns against Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, just mentioned good old Luther, Kurt Angle's little bodyguard, and I believe it would be an absolute age too soon for him to beat Eddie Guerrero if he does.
Right, I agree with you. I think Luther's got potential. I just don't think he's there yet, so I think Eddie goes over.
Yeah, I mean,
plus, Eddie's been getting beat a lot lately, so I think he needs something to pick him up.
Exactly. I mean, it's not going to give him too much of a boost if he's beating Kurt Angle's bodyguard, but if he loses to Kurt Angle's bodyguard, it'd be an absolute mess, so...
Right.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero is my pick.
Right, me too. Me too. I agree with you.
Now, moving on to a belt that Eddie was fighting over with his cousin Chavo.
Right. The Cruiserweight belt?
Yep, just trying to link it in, kind of. A match added on SmackDown this week, Spike Dudley against Nunzio.
Nunzio, wow. The battle of the former...
I think it's more to get the belt on the card.
Right, and it's a battle of two former ECW mates.
Yeah.
It's Nunzio being Little Guido.
Yeah.
And Spike Dudley.
Spike Dudley being Spike Dudley.
Well, Spike Dudley in ECW was Little Spike Dudley, because...
Okay, good.
He was Little Spike Dudley, though, for a reason.
Because he was little.
Well, that and his initials.
LSD, yeah.
LSD, and he pretty much, he came out to Highway to Hell by AC/DC. He had the what am I trying to think of? Tie-dye on. He just, he looked like he was on LSD. So, they called him Little Spike Dudley, LSD.
LSD.
There you go.
And who do you think's going to win this one?
And his finisher was the acid drop.
Yep.
Right. Who do I think is going to win this one? Probably Spike.
The LSD will be the key.
Okay. I'm going to vote for Spike Dudley.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I really don't even know what...
We kind of got the same sort of thoughts apart from the main event thus far. Let's see if the throwaway tag team title match will change our opinions at all.
Uh-huh.
Kenzo and Renee.
Against RVD.
And Ray Ray.
Yeah, wow. That's just proof they just don't know what to do with those guys.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that RVD always seems to end up in that, we don't know what to do with you, so you're going for the tag belts situation.
Yeah.
He did on SmackDown, he did on Raw, so...
I mean, they moved him across, and I mean, a great, situation they could have put him in, either the US title thing, or even the world title thing. Like they had done on Booker T, really. But then they just kind of, mismatched it. And I suppose two of the most over guys on the roster now against Kenzo and Ray, and I think that'll be another scalp for the foreigners. But again, saying the foreigners, I could actually be talking about any of them.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. But speaking as an adopted American for this short segment, I think that the Kenzo Suzuki and Renee Dupree. I'm trying to do my American. Kenzo and Dupree are my picks.
Yeah, I could see that. I just don't think RVD and Ray Ray need a belt,
Exactly. I think it's been a bit too thrown together for my liking for it to be a title change. So pretty much with the Cruiserweight title match, I guess this is just to get people the belt on the card. And if there was any change in this match, I'd be surprised.
Right. And the final match on the card that I think we have not covered yet?
There's two left.
Two left, okay. Well, save the U.S. title one for the next one, but what's next?
Next, Billy Kidman and Paul London.
Stupid feud. Stupid feud, but will be a good match.
I think it was brought up too soon. I think this could have been saved for maybe Royal Rumble sort of time, because these two guys don't need to be in a Royal Rumble really, unless they just can be thrown over straight away. I think that would have been a good time to do the feud. But London against Kidman will be a good match, like you said, and I've been enjoying the storyline.
I just think it's stupid because the big thing was Kidman will not do the shooting star because he doesn't want to hurt somebody. Kidman says, "What? You want me to hurt somebody?" And the stupid fans cheer him. Like, yeah, you should hurt him. Well, I would think that not wanting to hurt somebody would make him the face.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it makes him the heel, and that's why I think it's a stupid feud, because I just can't follow it.
I mean, to be fair, I guess the WWE creative team got it right in that they knew that, him saying jumping hurt somebody will get him over his heel, because people, they want him to. And then when he says, no, I'm not going to hurt anyone,
Right.
it's kind of like, okay. But I suppose the basis really isn't that, it's more the basis that he walked out on Paul London.
Right, and I guess that's it.
And disrespected him and wouldn't talk to him, all that. And I mean, and it gets Paul London onto a pay-per-view card, so...
Well, let's see what happens, and you know, it also gets Kidman back on a pay-per-view card, which he belongs on, too. And Kidman's a great worker. Unfortunately, he's starting to look tremendously, and this is an odd little tie-in, like Marty Jannetty. In that, when they cut their hair, they just don't look the same. Something about him just reminds me of Marty when I see him.
Billy...
Billy's smaller.
Yeah, he kind of maybe fitting in the Marty Jannetty role in that he'll... From this tag team,
Right.
Of him and Paul London. Okay, they haven't been around as long as the Rockers were, and they don't have, whatever in terms of a legacy and such.
Right.
Being that they were together about a month and a half, maybe 2 months.
Right.
But he kept his Marty Jannetty from his tag team with Paul London going for bigger and better things. And I think if they being smart, then Paul London will pick up the victory.
Could be. I think they're probably going to give London the victory. I just don't think London gets thrown around real well, and he sells real well. He just doesn't seem to have the offense down pat yet. He's not as crisp on offense, if you ask me.
That standing drop, the moonsault drop kick, whatever it is.
Right.
What is it? It's like a shooting star press drop kick.
Right.
I can't remember the bloody technical term for it. But anyway, that is a lovely move. I really like that. And he does hit the shooting star press better.
It is, but I'm talking about things as simple as punching and kicking. It's just some of the things he does is just, it doesn't look as crisp as it should. When you look at Benoit, and the way Benoit chops you and kicks you and punches you, he looks like he's killing you. And when London does it, it kind of looks kind of sloppy.
I suppose he's in the same car as a guy like Kenzo Suzuki, though, so hopefully he'll go on after Kenzo, and his chops and kicks will look like $1 million.
Right.
Anyway, of course, the match that you were speaking about a second ago,
Right.
this is the one that for me is an absolute total no-brainer, and it's because of the internet.
Right. You think the internet sucked the life out of it?
No. I think the internet's given away the finish completely.
That, of course, would be John Cena against... I just said against. I must have turned Canadian somehow. John Cena against Booker T for the U.S. title.
Yeah. Best of 5 series match. Obviously, they're tied at 2 each at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in the final one in the series. And it's for the U.S. title. So because the title's obviously therefore got to be defended in 30 days now, because they had the thing on Raw with Edge that they took the strap off him because he couldn't defend it in 30 days. They obviously want the belt to be defended well now. These secondary belts.
Right.
And because of that, the internet has ruined it for me. I'll tell you why I think this, because obviously it may not be true at all. It could be rumour mongering, and the internet may be utterly wrong. Or Vince just may just try and swerve it anyway, even if this is true. But I read that John Cena's off now for 3 months to go and film the film.
Yep.
And of course, which if that is true, even though when Triple H was off filming his role with Blade or whatever it was, he managed to win the title back off of Goldberg.
Right.
That may be a sign that things come. But I still think that Booker T's going to therefore, take it and have it, run with it because Cena won't be around.
Could be. I think it'd be smart to give it to Booker as well. Booker's always been more talented than he gets credit for, especially in the WWE. In WCW, he was better than he got credit for in '98. Unfortunately, I think they rushed him and gave him a stupid character in 2000 when they just gave him the belt in a panic because of the Hogan thing. He hasn't really regained his momentum since then, and I think if you really give him a chance to shine, Booker T can catch on. At the same rate, Booker T for years has been saying he's going to retire soon.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
So when is this going to happen?
I'm surprised he didn't retire when he was made G.I. Bro.
Yeah, well, his best success in WCW World Title came right after G.I. Bro.
Yeah.
So, and he still claims to this day that was his idea, but I don't think so.
If it was, then let's just pray that he doesn't marry any McMahons.
Yeah, Christ.
It'd be like LSD. I don't mean Spike Dudley.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I personally think it's quite a solid card. I'm hoping I'll be around to see it.
Where might you be?
I think I'm driving.
Where?
I don't know whether I'll be around or not, but I've got another one of my fancy road trips.
Yeah.
In the car driving for a few hours, so hopefully I'll be back by that time.
Alright.
But, yeah.
Hopefully so. No Mercy should be a good card.
Yep. Nothing on there that I don't particularly want to watch. Everything on there, you know, something about it I want to watch. Main event I want to watch. Best of 5. I'd actually say Booker T and John Cena is probably the match that I'd least like to see on there. Simply because I think, in the tag title match, as much as I dislike Suzuki, I like the pre-Van Dam Mysterio. Cruiserweight title match, they'll probably throw something into it to make it appealing.
Well, the thing about Suzuki is they just brought him in so wrong.
Yeah.
And he's not that crisp in the ring, and it's just a waste of space.
I mean, all I'd seen of him before he joined was one TNA appearance. And I was slightly unimpressed by that.
When did he appear on TNA?
He was on TNA once. See, I'm so unimpressed I can't even remember who he was against. But he was on maybe 18 months ago?
A year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he might have made one appearance there, but I don't remember it. Oh, well.
I mean, yeah, it's just,
yeah,
no good.
Well, and it wouldn't be that bad, at least if he had a solid finisher. But his finisher is some kind of an inverted DDT onto the knee, and it doesn't strike me as a finisher. Oh well.
Yeah. But,
so, No Mercy should be a good card. Then we discussed IPW UK. TNA, I just said, Roddy Piper is advertised for next week. Also next week on Impact, which is proof they're finally trying to actually do something with their show. The Impact show, because I think they kind of dropped the ball for a couple months. I know because I was not interested in watching it for a while. I taped it, but I didn't watch it that much. Now they have, next week is 2 big matches to decide who will face Jeff Jarrett at the upcoming Victory Road pay-per-view. And those matches will be Jeff Hardy against Monty Brown, and the winner of that will go on to face the winner of... No, it's Jeff Hardy against Abyss, actually. And the winner of that will take on the winner of Monty Brown and Raven. And the winner of that goes on to face Jeff Jarrett at Victory Road.
Now, sorry, where have I heard that idea before?
What do you mean?
The whole progressional tournament, and then facing the seeded wrestler. Ah, dear.
Maybe they stole it from you.
Could have done, you know. I reckon that they're probably looking at my booking ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what they should do, though? And I think the pay-per-view main event is disappointing. Because they've been advertising an outsider, which makes me think, well, maybe they'll have Scott Hall or Kevin Nash show up, and now it's just going to be somebody that's already within the company.
I suppose at the same time, it's probably a good idea. Their first time on big pay-per-view in terms of, you know, there'll probably be a lot of promotion for it. And their first time doing that, and they've got one of the internal guys facing him, so...
Yeah, but at the same rate, you got to have a name to draw to, and unfortunately, you know, Jeff Jarrett's a solid name, but he's not going to make people want to shell out $30.
I mean, if what's read is to be, you know, to be true, then there's a very good chance that the outsiders will be on it. Six-pack, Sean Morton will be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Roddy Piper, Sting, and DDP will be on it.
Yeah.
Whether they do or not, you know, remains to be seen. I personally think that if they're going to bring those people, they should bring in Lex Luger as well. I mean, he's actually got some kind of back history with the company, at least.
Right.
I mean, he wasn't in kind of fabulous ring shape, but...
He was in good shape, he just didn't give a good performance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he needs to, you know, maybe ring work a bit before then. Or
Do some stretches.
Yeah. Maybe spot him in the ring.
Right.
Before the pay-per-view goes live for 20 minutes or something.
Right.
So blow him up, but do something. And yeah.
I think he just needs to stretch. He was just so washboard-like. Yeah, he didn't bend. He didn't do nothing. Not that he ever really did, but he was worse than usual. Anyway, this has been a good recap, and then of course we have upcoming. What the hell do we have upcoming? We have advertised interviews with Chris Jericho,
yep,
Roddy Piper, and a various amount of others that are not yet confirmed. We also have Squire David Taylor confirmed.
Yeah, we do.
So,
and we have a couple of others that are semi-confirmed. So as soon as we can try and get them confirmed, we'll let you know.
We're trying to get a lot of them to give us a time and a date, and unfortunately, they like letting their voicemails answer.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they've got nice voicemails, so, we don't mind listening to them too much, but I'll see if I can get James' idea working and get Nick Mondo on the show.
Yes.
And if not, I'll see if I can get another IPW guy on the show.
Absolutely.
And they can shill my product for me.
Shill it, yes.
So that I don't have to do it.
Yep. Well, I can't wait to see it, so send me over the tape.
No, Sheldon. There's only a rough tape at the moment.
Oh? I still have some stuff that I have to send you that I'll send you as soon as you move back to college. By the way, 2 weeks from today, you're going to have to go since you already said you would.
Is what?
2 weeks from today.
Is?
Whitesnake in Portsmouth.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you said it's right beside your college, so.
It is. It's really close to it.
Yeah, so it should be fun. I would be surprised if they got a really big crowd. It'd probably be about 500 people.
Make sure you remind me, and I'll drag some along with me.
Okay, I'll send you.
Yeah. What day is it? It's 2 weeks.
15th.
15th. Right.
15th October. I'll have to send you. I'll have to take the program and make the biggest file of Whitesnake's greatest hits MP3. There's one big, long, continuous file and send it to you, just so it's a quicker download. Either that. Ow. That hurt.
What the hell just happened?
You don't want to know.
Did you have another shelf falling on you again?
Close.
What fell on you?
The little bars that hold up the futon beds things?
Yeah.
Well, one of them just managed to shoot off the thing and hit me in the head.
Have you got some kind of metal magnet? Something.
It must be the metal plate in my head. I don't know. I don't have a metal plate.
The background information for people is I was speaking to James earlier on today.
Right.
And then he suddenly said, oh, I'm bleeding. And I said, why is that? He said, a shelf just fell on me.
That was a wooden shelf. It's one of these massive shelves that I have holding up my videotapes. And I started hearing this clicking sound in the background, so I'm just thinking, what the hell is that? So I put my glasses down, I turn around, and comes straight down. Right at me, hits me right in the knee, hits a fan, breaks the wing, the spinning things on the fan, snapped them right off. I just looked at it and holy shit,
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I'm having a great week.
Quite funny, though.
Yes, sir. There's Daniel's cell phone.
It is indeed. It's a crossfire, so.
All right.
I wasn't actually receiving a message or anything. It's just a crossfire at the network.
All right. So, why don't we play Show No Mercy, or No Mercy, from this is actually the first ever recorded LA Gun song. So, why don't we do that?
Go.
All right.
Do it. Go.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know.
Okay. Here it is, the first recorded LA Gun song ever off the aptly titled LA Guns CD. Here you go.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's all, folks. You have made it to the end of another video here on the Wrestling Epicenter channel. If you liked what you heard, please click the like button and leave a comment telling us what you think. And consider subscribing. It helps us more than you know. Thank you.